Why can't you see? So locate, stand straight, and take aim. Let's Guns in my hands.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, welcome to FSB Racing Friday Night Winston Cup Series from Michigan, BR. Slight change there in track at the last minute. Had a little issue, but we got it under control. Thanks to our crack admin team, Sam Young, Ryan Johnson, and everybody jumping on that. So, me and my co-host here, Milt Minter Jr., we're ready to go. How you feeling, Milty? You ready for some Michigan?
Absolutely ready for some FSP racing at its best, sim racing at its best. Some definitely Michigan full field. All the starting spots are taken with the broadcasters. I think that's 39 spots, and they're gone. So
yeah, 2 for us, 3 for us actually, because I take up 2 with the second computer here, and 1 reserved for the server and 1 reserved for admin. So yeah, there's probably 39 cars at least tried to get in last night. That's what we had in the trucks last night too. We're getting record fields lately. It's been an amazing couple of weeks here to start the season.
Well, you got the combination of this is a great sim developed by the same guys that done iRacing. You got the coronavirus, people staying home more and having more time to race and watch. So I mean, this is a great opportunity for us to just have some fun, and this is a great product, a great show, man. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it should be fun, and so we're still in a little practice session here while everybody gets reconnected to the changed track. But you can see some of the big names out there getting some last-minute laps in. You got camera right there on the Pac-Man machine in number 15 of the GOAT, Matt Watkins. The 29 Tide Ride, Jeff Hale. Billy Arborough looking to bounce back from a rough night in the trucks and the 54 Realtree machine. Oh, Ken Shea, he's out there, but he's got a default. What's that all about? Oh, we gotta fix that. Skeegee needs to be in a yellow Dodge. It's just not proper.
That's what he rolls in, man.
It's just not proper seeing him in a yellow Monte Carlo. We're gonna have to fix that. Maybe you can put him in a Magnum if he wants the Monte Carlo body so bad.
Well, I don't care if he's driving a shopping cart. Ken Shea is capable of winning this race, and every time he shows up, he is one of the best in NASCAR 2003. And these guys are some of the best. FSP racing, 17 years now?
Yeah, I mean, it started when the game came out in 2003. I think it was March or May.
Trophies are from FSB, which I love to brag, But
if I had more time, I would have set some up behind me there to.
Yeah, you got a few,
Yeah, I do.
I do want to. I like to show off something once a week, and here's one of my dad's racing helmets. So
that is super cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Got any padding in it?
Not really. I mean, I was gonna wear it to Ford versus Ferrari, but we took some pictures with it. But I probably should have done that. It would have been cool.
Awesome, and my teammate and buddy here, Dan Jones, joined us in the booth, our in-race reporter. Thanks for checking in, Dan.
Hey, boys.
So, how you feeling? How's this feel compared to the stock Michigan we were on before? Any differences?
This is better. Yep.
This is definitely better.
Oh my gosh, my kid's watching.
Oh, hey, Jessica.
What's up, girl?
My phone's not showing the chat. Oh, there's a good reason for that. There we go. Yeah, I lost my third monitor this week. It died after almost as many years of service as this game has under it. So my OBS is taking up the left screen where I usually have YouTube up, so I can see everybody's chat coming in. And that's also the one I'm sharing over to Milty, so he can see what's going on.
Yeah, so Jessica's talking about the Grand Prix next year. I don't know if I told you, Jessica, but I just had a team meeting with Jim there. We killed a 12-pack in Visalia, and I made it back. No incidents, and a barbecue. But yeah, we're talking about next year. We got tons of people going to show up. So
yeah, there's going to be some big old parties once all these quarantines are lifted.
We already got motels, but we have to see how Corona goes and all this.
I checked that out right now.
3 blocks from the track, so I get to see my daughter and go to the races. How cool is that?
Meanwhile, right there on your screen are the 3 most commonly confused cars from a distance. The 109 of Rick Bisconer, the 51 of Dave Jandry, and the 83 of Steve Weber. All there under a blanket. It's like looking in one of those funhouse mirrors.
Well, you know, we apologize for the late start, but everything is kosher right now. Guys are just trying to get in to the server, making sure everybody has a chance to qualify. So right now we're seeing practice, and then we will have qualifying, which we can't watch.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't watch it live. I can
but you
put
get
scoring
to see a lot
up.
of us, you know, right?
I can put the live scoring up, and we can, yeah, we can fill over that. But yeah, unfortunately, we have a little extra time to kill tonight, guys. Thankfully, we have that great music from Alborn to fill the original
Porsche
weight there.
917K, long tail.
Excellent.
That's one of my favorite cars right there. Definitely.
Yeah, what we can do, Milty, is we can get our predictions out of the way here and make our picks before they even qualify.
Oh, we got a huge field. Okay.
Oh, check out Slim's new ride. Oh, wait. Did you see that?
Slim Jim Gately, no longer snap yourself into a Slim Jim.
Slim Jim Gately rocking the 23 Jimmy Spencer No Bull scheme. That's one of the classic paint schemes. I don't paint tobacco cars, but that's one of my favorite schemes anyway.
I mean, it was the Winston Cup, you know. I mean,
absolutely. I hate the product, but man, those tobacco cars, they made some pretty iconic schemes over the years.
I smoke, you know.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
The Camel,
Players, a pretty cool one.
Players always had cool ones. The Camel GTP car, that's one of my favorites of all time. Not the Camel, the Silk Cut Jaguar.
The Lowenbrow Porsche 962 and 956 were
beer.
my favorite, you know. Well, it was in that car, 246 miles an hour on the Molson, lap after lap, every lap for 24 hours. How could you? I don't know what to say. You know, except you had to have some cojones back then. You know.
Seriously, and the safety back then is laughable compared to today.
Hi Doris, that's
hey, Mama Gately checking in. All right,
we got 18 live watching. Probably be over 100 views when this is over. Rewatches on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, we got about 20 seconds to qualifying here.
They're getting a little silly right now, but make no mistake, this is not a clown show. This is not the circus. This is professional sim racing. We're joking around right now as these guys are driving around, but I can tell you from experience, and you see these trophies, they weren't easy to earn.
They're not participation.
No, it's not participation. It's what position you finish in. And
I see we got Barrett McKay checking in there, Jim Ray.
Wow, Siri thought I was talking to her right there on my phone. And sorry, sweetheart. Okay, so we're talking about predictions, which I never got. Wow, when you look at this talent level throughout and the stories behind these guys, we got both the Francisconi brothers tonight.
And there's
Dino
one of them, and Dino.
And I don't know if you didn't know, Den is quadriplegic, and running these races probably be too much for him because he uses a keyboard to drive, which is unbelievable. Physically, I don't know if he's going to run this race. He might run some. He might.
I think this is one of the ones he can pit on. That's the deciding factor is how easy it is to pit with the driving aids that are required when you use a keyboard control like he does. All right, there's the little reset there as he switched to qualifying.
So they're playing slap and tickle out there. These guys are really excited, and they should be. This is we got the two winningest drivers in FSB history with Rick Johnson and Matt Watkins.
Absolutely, and Jim Ray's already putting in a Go 52.
Well, so he's already got the 52. So, and I would like you know, I mean, it's Matt Watkins is a simply easy pick, but I want to pick somebody. I'm going to pick somebody that's your last year's champion and also is on a roll big time. That's the 30 of Jordan McGregor is going to be my pick. He's shown that he can do it and he won, was leading Riverside like it was nothing. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, things didn't work out for him. So there we are.
Yeah, you're just never going to let him forget that one, are you?
Well, you know, because I know how that feels. I've won them and lost them, and those are the ones you don't forget. But those are the ones where you see raw talent. And as a driver and as a broadcaster, I was like, this guy is as good as anybody I've seen in 16 years at Riverside. We were talking Damon Gostilla. You're talking Kevin Lewis. These guys are champions and legends in road racing at FSB, and he could hang with them. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, so Milty's got Jordan McGregor, your defending champion. That's a solid pick. You know what? I think new paint. It's got some mojo in it. I think Slim does what Jimmy couldn't do in those colors, which is win on a non-restrictor plate track. I'm going with Slim Jim in the brand new look 23.
Well, that's a great pick. We know what Slim can do, and that's pretty much all we know. What he can do, and he can win races. He can dominate when he's on the. Especially, well, so we got to see what's going on here qualifying.
Absolutely. And you can see the live timing, unusual for us. We usually pop in happy hour after qualifying's done, so you can see the leaderboard as it moves, see who picks up on the second lap, who lays it all out on the table on the first, and who waits to the last second to throw up their lap. Right now we got Dave Jandry sitting on the pole.
So what are we looking at as far as pit stops? It's going to be about 20 laps max, or...
This is a 2-mile track. God, I can't remember. I think we were looking at 24 on Tuesday night as the max run.
So that's the first thing you need to know. You're your own driver, pit crew, everything. You have to control that along with your teammates. So most of these guys are on different teams. They're, JR, did you beat Milt in ping pong? No, we couldn't really social distance enough to play ping pong, and Jim didn't have the ping pong table set up, so I would have kicked his ass. So
all right, so he gets a reprieve now.
He's going, oh no, did you just say that?
All right, and Dave Jandry's time is holding so far with 6 seconds left in the qualifying session. Looks like Dave Jandry in the 51 will be your pole setter.
Joe Weaver in the 12. We've seen him qualify in the top 10 almost every race, and now he's P2. He might be breaking out. The venerable one, Pops Margison, the oldest driver by far in the league, and he's going to slap me for that.
Well, you see...
P3.
You see some of our top guns there, including defending champion Jordan McGregor. They're all answering that Slim Jim challenge, and they're taking provisionals tonight. So the McGregor, Watkins, DeSenza, Shea, Gately, they're all starting in the back of this field. And look, you got 42 entries, not counting the server.
Well,
absolutely incredible.
We didn't mention that because last week it's the champion challenge. Yeah, absolutely. That's something that's pretty cool, But
yeah, Dave Jandry on your pole. Joe Weaver on the outside in the 12 car. 99 of Pops Margison. Alex Jarvie, brand new member. Just accepted membership in full this week, so welcome Alex full time. Billy Yarbrough puts it 5th. TG Reese, Dan Irvine, Bill Farmer, great qualifying run there in the 06 car. He had those Valvoline colors that we were showing earlier in practice. Ed Fowler switches his number to the 2 this year and gets himself a nice top 10 qualifying run in that Bojangles machine.
Mr. Bojangles.
Ken Hansen in the Coors Beer can rounds out your top 10. Jeff Hale not rising to the back of the field challenge. Qualifies 11th, so he might have wanted to avoid that and go back there with those guys.
Even my lame butt would have to start in the back because I am a champion.
I see. Wait, so Hale doesn't have a Winston Cup?
But you know what? Starting in the back with a big field like this is not the worst thing.
So this means if I make a start this season, I'm going to be called the chicken if I don't start in the back?
Well, yeah.
All right. I mean, I got 2 Winston Cups up there on that shelf, so I guess...
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I have to make any starts this season, I'll be back there with those guys.
Now, I'm not sure if that's just a Winston Cup championship or a championship in...
it must not be, because I know Hale has championships, at least in the Super Speedway Series. I know Will Farmer is also Super Speedway champ. Rick Johnson's champ of everything. Maybe he's just never put together a Winston Cup. My goodness.
He's put like
Will Farmer.
6 or 7 Pro Cups. It's pretty good.
Will Farmer says, "Full house tonight.
Wanna
NR
get in a
2003
fist
will
fight.
never die." And
That's the guy you want to bring
truth.
with you. Them racing fist fight, I bring Rick Johnson anytime.
Like, I just bring him to a race. Hard to beat. Well, the driver's meeting is going to be a little long, unfortunately. Hopefully not too long, considering the delay we already had. We definitely have some stuff to cover. And with a huge field like this tonight, the last thing you want is everyone going nuts and turn this into a caution parade. Good news is, it's Michigan. There's a lot of room to get out of each other's way. A lot of different lines you can run through the corner. I'm getting a little echo back from you, Milty.
Got a message there from Dog. What's up? He's getting ready. Still echoing, or?
Well, I'd have to talk to hear an echo, and I don't. Oh, just a tiny bit. I had to kind of provoke it.
Turn the sound down a little bit, like that.
We got Shane Pittman there saying keep the camera on Stravato. It's always exciting. Yeah, Jim Stravato put on the Norm Benning show last week, like at Eldora, running at that flat homestead. All right, there was a reset. Hopefully, we'll see cars on track soon. So what is the distance here tonight? 80 laps. There we go. 80 laps around this 2-mile track.
Let's talk about Michigan a little bit.
Yeah, you got the track map there.
Not
The
going to be
big
flat
D.
out, or maybe you will be at first.
As far as these are
These
truck
cars
physics,
have about 700 horsepower with their physics. A little bit less than
a little bit less than that in the trucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got cars on track now, but you see there is that kind of jelly bean shape of Michigan Speedway, Michigan, California. Both share that same basic shape, and it's not quite a super speedway, and it's not quite an intermediate. It's a big, fast track, and these truck physics that we run in the Aero 88 Cup cars, you can run it flat out, like Milty was saying. Definitely if you're in the lead first couple laps, and sometimes even if you're trailing for a couple laps, but that's still not the best idea. You'll wear the tires out, and then you'll start going backwards about halfway through the run.
Well, as a driver, right now, I wouldn't be drinking, first of all.
Absolutely.
I'd be really wired right now. I mean, I take sim racing serious. If I was driving right now, I'd be amped up, and this delay would bother me a little bit, but you have to regain your focus just like you do every time you have a restart or a pit stop. When you get a little break, you have to bring it. And all joking aside, this is going to be serious. You guys
Absolutely.
are going at it and trying to win this race, and this is for trophies, like these.
Yeah, and with a big aerodynamic dependent track like this and a huge field, it's fraught with danger. You knock that right side in, you're going to be struggling the rest of the night. So I think patience hopefully carries the day here. You know, those guys starting in the back, they're counting on some early cautions, they're counting on some green flag stops to cycle through and get some distance as they pick their way through the pack.
Well, you know, cautions, you beat people in the pits. No cautions, you beat them on tire wear. So they're prepared to do both. That's what their mindset is. If we get cautions early, then we're all going to pit. Unless we're in the back, we might stay out and get track position, especially if we get an early caution. Tire wear, you know, it's like every other track. It's always an issue. But here, you know, first 5, even 10 laps, you might roll the dice and do nothing. Stay out. See what the leaders do. If the leaders pit, you stay out. If they don't pit, well, you got to stay out anyway.
Absolutely. And, you know, Lightman 60 saying need to make room for 50. Well, unfortunately, that's hard-coded into the game. The most you can do is, if you're playing offline, you can fake it into using 47. But that requires a little bit of trickery, kind of taking advantage of a bug. And most tracks can't handle that anyway.
Hey, Shawn.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to pop that screen back up if you could real quick. That screen you just had up with showing the small camera and the... Just I want to show the fans something.
The track info?
Yeah, track info.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to point out, Milty and Shawn, I want you to look at that Jamie McMurray record down on the bottom there. I want you to say that the player record, by the way, is Shawn.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Wow, 38.777.
That's his time, guys.
He's just not a mouth and a director. Dude can drive. That's
well, what's the that must have been an open setup truck race way back in the day, because these guys aren't turning that time in practice here. You don't forget that info stays.
Well, you also got temperature there too. You got track temperature. Everything has to be perfect. Get laps like that.
That info could very well be from 2004, 2005, for all I know. Because
it doesn't matter though. You know, it's just like these trophies. You know, if I got out there today, I'd be definitely running in the back, and not by choice. And so, but I won those trophies. So at that time, I was good enough to beat the best in the world. So I'll take it.
Well, I thought for sure that we needed to point that out tonight. Anyway, good luck, guys. And we have a full house, first one I think we've ever had, the first broadcast full house. So
absolutely, first broadcast full house for certain.
Good job, guys.
Please stay with us because it's about to get interesting. You won't be seeing our mugs. You'll be seeing these.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's about time.
You won't be hearing me. I'm going to go watch the broadcast. Good luck, guys.
All right, bud.
About time I turn our faces off there, and let's focus on these cars that are about to strap in and fire the engines up once again for 80 laps around Michigan. We're off to a late start, but we're still psyched, ready to go. I think we still got Dan in the booth here with us.
Yeah, just before we go qualifying, looks like Dan Irving and Will Farmer got the worst of that one. Qualifying first and second, now they're back in 7th and 17th.
Ouch. Oh, they were first and second in the Michigan
original qualifying, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, again, clarifying something there to everybody why we had to do that is this stock Michigan track. It's almost a superstition, but it's also real. We've had more track and server crashes at the stock Michigan, and we went to try and qualify. A bunch of people got dropped and couldn't reconnect. So we're going to Michigan BR, see if that shakes some of the yips. And that might be the last time we run stock Michigan, because we keep forgetting that this happens, and it looks like the more cars you have, the more of a problem you have with stock Michigan.
Yeah, it's funny. 23 Jim Gately and Steve Weber were saying it's funny. We can run on a Tuesday night, never do this. Run it on a Friday night, and the ghosts come out.
I've had, I think I've had more than once. I've had to reschedule the truck race on a Thursday night at Michigan as well.
So, that explains, the intricacies of sim racing. I mean, there's, internet failure is like blowing a motor, kind of, but you can also blow a motor. So. Yep.
With or without prior damage.
And now it's time for some action. I'm telling you, you're going to have 37 cars out here going at it at near 200 miles an hour. And you're going to see with the in-car that we're going to give you and everything, it's going to be, you're going to want a piece of this, man, because just like doing it for real, except if you crash, you don't break your neck, you know. This time right here,
I tell you, that is an important distinction.
Waiting for, well, there's other things too. Seat of the pants. We learned that when we saw the NASCAR guys doing sim racing this year. We started understanding the differences, and they are huge. You cannot be a sim racer and think you use the same skills, so you could be a real race car driver. But to think that you are a real race car driver before you do it, you're just, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, because real racing is
physical.
But then you see like a guy like William Byron, and that's, you know, transferred his sim racing and got discovered along with doing legends and stuff like that. You still have the money, have to have the money, you know. My mom said to me a while back, you know, if your dad could have raced right now, and I was like, if he could have raced right now, he never would have even had a chance. He had to start back in the 50s with no money and nothing and get discovered. That doesn't happen now, you know. You got to get discovered from somewhere, but you still have to have the money to, you know, and the work ethic, you know, so.
We got some clutching already right here on the pace laps. Some guys trying to work their fuel strategy right from the drop.
You have to just do that, like, you know, you do that no matter what happens. It just becomes natural habit, because that way you don't even have to think of whether you should, you just do it. Because let's say you have a couple laps run here, and let's get ready to go green here. Dave Janbury, a longtime veteran here, with this starting arrangement, and Joe Weaver, relatively new. We got some cars up there, along with the veteran Bill Yarborough and the 99. Great start here.
Yeah, turn 1 at Michigan, cold tires, always an adventure.
Let's go racing, boys. Oh boy, the 89 gets wicked loose there. You couldn't tell if his spotter had him clear or not, and he saves it.
He holds on, and we're clean for the first
moment right there. I guarantee you, Alex Jarvie is like still breathing hard.
Looks like we're
three
about to get us
already on the. That's the thing about Michigan. You can go 3, 4 wide. They're 3 wide. P3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, there's about 6 lines that work through turn 1, but you got to narrow them all down to 2 coming off turn 2.
This is Aero 88 mod NASCAR 2003, which replicates like what we saw the last race season in iRacing with their North Wilkesboro, and they were planning to open up that kind of mod, because they're probably watching us going, man, this stuff is cool.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
We should be like FSB Racing.
That'd be funny if they're watching us, but as far as I know, they're not.
Really close to the 27. 3 wide still. The 29 Tide car coming up underneath. Mr. Bojangles behind as we go through the field. Got to stay connected there. 37 cars on the track. This is professional sim racing.
Yeah, you can see all the different lines people are taking through turn 1. Oh, we got a problem on the backstretch here. Jim Stravato losing a bunch of ground, almost goes 4 wide into turn 3, but everyone sorts it out.
West Dobbs all the way. Okay, do we have a caution?
No, we don't. He gathered it up, and they kept it going straight.
Let's see if we can find West Dobbs here.
Yeah, there are a lot of cars on track. It's hard to find people
crazy.
tonight.
We apologize if we don't catch everybody, but this stuff is crazy.
Yeah, folks, I guarantee we are going to miss something tonight. It's just inevitable. I'm not familiar with West Stubbs Aero 88 paint yet. Oh man, I really should have added an extra layer to the tick. I could have had a full extra 12 spots added for tonight, but I didn't get the chance. Didn't even think about that. I'll have to do that for week after next. Oh, we got a little warp out of Slim Jim. Got it back under control, though.
Cars around. Brad out of Fresno, California around. The Marine is around, and also,
We do have caution on the speedway.
and he had contact with Ken Shea in the 91. Normally the Bumblebee, but they had problems getting to the track, and so with their original paint, so they're going with the Amco hooker car. I see there.
Yeah, I got it in a default orange car there. All right, here we got what happened here. Oops, I hit 5 on the wrong computer. Coming off turn 2, you just see. Looks like Ken just ran up on Brad faster than he thought he was. He gets into him. You see that got Ken turned around too. And they both go to the inside there, trying to see if Ken hit that inside wall very hard, and he did. He backed it in, then slapped it with the left front, so a 91 car is not going to be in prime speed condition there. Milty, you still there, bud?
Yeah, I'm trying to find Wes Dobbs on here, and
Yeah, me too.
I'm still seeing the Bojangles car.
He's the 66.
What the heck is going on here? I know I'm pretty lame, you know, but
It looks like he didn't make the start.
Trouble in the pits. Rick Johnson getting around Matt Stewart a little bit, but the GOAT there going for 4 tires. Matt Stewart 2 tires in the 90. He gets a bunch of track position. That's another option here early.
Yeah, Wes Dobbs is listed in the field, but did not make the green flag.
Well, that explains a lot here.
Yeah, it certainly does.
90 car of Matt Stewart definitely moved up there. Now he's behind the legend, Pops Markison, Winston Cup champion, back when they were Winstons. Somehow I think the cigarette ban came to FSB Racing.
Check out this car that Dave Ellen's got here. He's got the 57 Chevy
I
grill
see
going.
Wes Dobbs in, but I see Ed Fowler. I'm confused.
I don't know how you're seeing Ed Fowler for Wes Dobbs. Wes Dobbs is the 66, but he's not currently on the track.
Well, that explains it. It's probably because I clicked something wrong, you know. That hasn't happened before.
Nah, never. So Dave Ellens has your race lead right now, staying out there. Jordan McGregor second. Jordan McGregor already up to second.
What happened? That's my boy right there. He's got Folgers in his cup.
So you're saying Dave Allen's never pitted?
It looks like Jordan McGregor and Mark DeSenza. These guys either didn't pit.
I just want to apologize to nobody.
These guys either didn't pit or they only took fuel. Or maybe fuel and rights.
Mark DeSenza, we've seen he back. They're Slim in the Winston car. I could just see Slim on like a horse with a fishing pole and a barbecue next to him, and some beer. I can't really say a Winston in his mouth. I don't know
Fish.
if he smokes
I
like
don't
me,
know.
unfortunately.
His voice sounds
But-
a little too smooth for smoking.
Well, when he goes fishing, he goes fishing. He don't mess around. But that Slim Jim Gately, and I don't care what rap he has, he gonna be good. Jordan up there, PG Reese in the 53. I don't see his paint, normal paint. A little bit of Skull Bandit, ding. But I'm not seeing that paint tonight.
Yeah, he's in a default for some reason. I'll have to see what's going on there.
Dan Irvine in the beer can. Ken Hansen, P7. P8, Alex Jarvie, who's done nothing but impress since he's been here. Every Friday night, you see that 89 car. He gets a lot of TV time. So then you got another former Winston Cup champion, Steve the Big Cactus Weber in P9. Rounding out your top 10 is a former, I'm not sure if he's a champ or not, but he was one of the best star car drivers back in the day with Team ECR, Danny Falcon. You guys haven't heard of him, but this guy was a monster on these, cookie cutters. He could master the high line like nobody else. He's also running with us in iRacing, and he is just like totally into sim racing. He's running both leagues, putting a lot of time in. He's going to run the 24 Hours of Le Mans with us June 24th. Just great to see him back. All those years back in the day racing against him. And he told me last week, he said, Monster? Because, that was my name before we used our real names. Monster, I'm going to take it easy that first race and just try to, get in the groove here. But later on, I'm going to start to try to push forward. But right now, I just don't want to cause any incidents. And but you see, he's still running a G25 with a shifter issue, which Jim Ray's sending him his old G25, and he's taking a look at the 83.
Yeah, we're back under green here with Dave Ellens leading them back to the flag.
I'm telling you, Danny Falcon is one of those guys from the old days at FSB that is as good as anybody I've ever seen. So you better watch out for that 20 car. Going back in the field here now. Behind him is Joe Weaver. He started P2. Everything I've seen from Joe has been racecraft is excellent, and understanding the competition and understanding the car. He went back instantly and did it well. And you see the car control. Look, these guys are good, man. I mean, don't just roll up and say what's up, and that doesn't happen. So I'm really impressed with his car craft. That 12 number, that's an old Roger Penske number.
That's a current Roger Penske number.
And a current Roger Penske number for Blaney. And 51, Dave January back. I think he got tires, and probably so did the 12. The rest of these guys back, probably Hale, P13, Bill Yarborough, which we, on and on. He qualified like 5th, and he kind of stepped back too. So when you see this Champions Challenge, yeah, that's something, but at the same time, these are long races, so...
Yeah, anything can happen.
But you don't want to see the gap that we're seeing between that group and the next now. We're seeing a significant gap.
Well, it can help that this front group is side by side, and if that second group can get organized, they can close that gap back up.
So you're seeing a huge gap. Jeff Havoc in the 101 Coast Guard car. Just so much improvement and running P17 strong. P18 Matt Stewart, the Bullseye barbecue car, taking a look hard here.
Meanwhile, 52 Rick Johnson's trying to find a way around the 25 Keith Cordier with Ryan Johnson, no relation, right behind him. They're
This
back for
group
24th, 25th.
Sorry, this group of 5 cars are really starting to get jiggy here with Will Farmer, Rick Visconner, and Matt Watkins. The Pac-Man car, that Toyota, is starting to move forward. Of those guys that started in the back, he does this a lot on his own accord if he thinks stuff's going to happen. So if somebody knows how to go from the back to the front, we started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now my whole team's here. That's Matt Watkins.
Well, I was in a race where he was out of fuel, about a foot away from his pit stall, turned sideways, and he got a nudge from his team into his stall, got serviced, made up his laps that he lost without the use of the lucky dog, and came back and won the race.
Rick Johnson and Keith Cordier going at it. Lowe's versus Red Box. Rick Johnson on the outside, using that outside line. This is a great battle. Ryan Johnson looking. Pops Morgan is kind of falling back, but still in the draft here. And I think they got better tires. 3 wide. Ryan Johnson looking low. That's the great thing about coming out of turn 4 here. I always liked California better than Michigan, even though they're both Roger Penske tracks. Identical if you're
looking
in the blimp and looking down, but on the track they are not.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the difference between Michigan and California is primarily the severity of the change in the banking, particularly off of turn 2. California kind of rolls out of it, and Michigan just drops you off a cliff.
Dino Francisconi, Madera, California, rocking his brother's website, Sconi.com.
Yeah, check out that chrome number, too.
If you want to meet one of the most exemplary, inspiring people, and he has to be his brother, which he's also a great dude. But I mean,
yeah, look right behind him.
You know, well, it shows the character of their family, all the stuff they've been through. But you got to check out Sconi.com. The artwork Dan Francisconi does. You know, Sconi's a construction worker like me. He works on the highways and stuff. Gets up real early and doesn't always have time to race, so you don't see him that much. But when you do, he's out here tonight. He's battling for 27th place. And there's his brother right behind him. Look, folks, I mean, go to that website and you can see how he races online with his fingertips in a wheelchair, completely paralyzed. He leans his body forward. This is excruciating work for him. When you race against him on the track, and I have done that, you can't tell the difference. He paints with his mouth. I mean, and you wouldn't. He's had paintings that were, commissioned by the state of California. On and on. You got to check his website out, Sconi.com.
Meanwhile, we got some challenges.
Fella.
Yeah, I got some challenges going up front. Oh, Dan Irvine sideswipes TG in the 53, and huge pile up off turn 2.
Oh, no.
Slim Jim's in it. Alex Jarvie in the air,
Slow down, guys,
tumbling.
slow down. Oh, Chet Barkin gets in the back of Dan. Oh my gosh. Oh no. He didn't see it coming.
Oh.
And Chet hammered Dan there. Oh my gosh.
The Sconi, at least one Sconi's in it. Looks like that's Den. Oh, we've had the big one.
Man, Chet just didn't see it coming fast enough, and Sconi slowed down and got him in the back. It seems like every time I talk about somebody, they get nailed, but that's racing, you know.
Well, I saw the situation developing, tried to break in with it there, and just as I did, it went south. 53, looks like he saved it, but everyone behind him, when they checked up, that's when it just all went bad.
So now what do you do? Obviously, you got to get 4 here. You got to get 4.
Yeah, you want 4 freshies right now. We're
You're
at
right
lap
at the
20.
pit window.
Yeah, we're at lap 20. There's going to be
Still
60 to
got
go.
15
60
laps left.
to go.
We have 15
Yeah,
laps left
absolutely.
on this tank.
Yep.
You still got a pit though, man. Right? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Tires are like 30% worn. How many people in that last accident?
many.
Well, here's the
Trying to see if we
replay.
can dial that up. Yep, that's my boy right there. Good thing I wasn't in charge of this. Or there we go. Car up in the wall, and that's what created it. Oh, and they're flipping and crashing and rolling. There's somebody up in the wall. I don't know if they were trying to let everybody by or if he just got. And that took Danny Falcon out. That took a ton of. Well, it didn't
Let's
take
watch
him
Alex
out.
Jarvie here. Alex Jarvie was the car that ended up in the air with this.
Let's see if we can get some in car, maybe.
Yeah, we'll take a look here in a sec. See, once that all happened in front, they started checking up, and the 9 and the 30, they get together. Alex Jarvie and Jordan McGregor and Slim Jim Gately all involved in this. Broadcaster Jinx strikes hard.
Dan Francesconi got into his pit stall using the back of his fingers to hit the keyboards, and he gets out clean. Car doesn't look too bad. I don't think they did too much work, so he might have dodged a bullet there. Ryan Johnson, on the other hand, is sitting there for a long time, the 59.
Let's ride on board Slim Jim Gately here. Let's see what it looked like in front of him.
A lot of work for the Supersonics car of Danny Falcon also. Oh, the 89 Alex Jarvie beat up like he was in a fist fight. Cody's car doesn't look too bad.
Alex Slim didn't get hit too hard either. He might be okay.
Oh, boy. That looked pretty bad.
Yeah, the worst part is that he hit with his nose first.
Yeah.
Rick Johnson stopped on the bottom. Did he get in that?
A lot of cars looking,
Wow, look at this from Rick Johnson. He does.
Okay, all right.
Well,
I'm
look at,
watching delayed here a little bit.
You can always switch over to the Skype window.
I still haven't figured that out yet.
Well, on board Rick Johnson here, you can see what he saw rolling in here, and he does exactly the right thing. This is what you should do when there's smoke and cars crashing in front of you.
Yeah.
He just woes it down and he yanks it down to the bottom. He can't see anything. He's just I'm just stopping, and he just watches cars tumble and crash and burn all around him. Pulls down to that ample paved area on the bottom.
That's what a
That's experience.
8-time champion does.
See, there's cars going by him. He doesn't care because his car is in one piece.
Ready to race to the end.
Well, this is something you always talk about in driver meetings, and and it's a constant. Sim racing and running a league is a constant thing. You have good races and bad races, and these are talking points that you talk about. That was pretty cut and dry. There's times where you have like, oh my gosh, and then bam, what are you gonna do? You got one chance to make a move,
Yeah, sometimes it happens right in front of you, and all you can do is watch it, and you're in it.
But you saw him. He drives cockpit like I do, so that was his view as he was coming up, looking out of the left A post. He saw the smoke, and then as soon as he saw that, he was just slowing down. He's looking in his mirrors, trying not to get hit, but that's what you do.
Well, lights are off on the FSP pace car, signifying one more lap to go until green. Got a few cars at the back of the field topping off here. Not a bad idea.
57, Bob Williams. There's still cars going around. He's going to line up behind the 91 of Ken Shea, just trying to get everybody in here. Jim Stravato, big fans, fan group watching tonight.
No
14th
fourth.
car is currently 25th position. Long way to go.
Watch
looks
around
like-
the 59. He has no fourth.
Oh no, Ryan Johnson lost fourth gear. That is terminal at Michigan. You cannot.
You really can't race like
You
that.
can't run without a fourth gear here. You could get away with it at Bristol. You can't get away
I
with it
lost
here.
it. Where is it? Somebody just ran over it. Yeah, been there, done that.
It was an incredible thing I learned about Alan Kowicki in that championship run in 1992, right around the 25th anniversary. I hadn't heard at the time, or at least I'd forgotten if I did, that he lost a gear, either first or second gear, during that race. So Paul Andrews just had him leave it in fourth the entire race.
Yeah, that happened to my dad in the 12 hours of Sebring, and he was 12 minutes away from winning that race, and the car was stuck in fourth gear. The clutch cable broke, and they finished like seventh. That's the 12 hours of Sebring, folks. He never talked about that. I'm hoping this gets back to Kevin Jeanette, because he was his crew chief. I texted a couple friends of friends and asked them to watch the broadcast tonight. But I'm sure Kevin's the one that told me the real story, because my dad would never. It was so heartbreaking, could never get over that. Anyway, I'm looking at Chris Landry in the 76. New name for me, and he is making laps.
Yeah, he's new driver this week, making his debut. Doesn't quite have paint uploaded yet, but he's out there in that purple 76, and we have the camera on Slim Jim.
I mean, he's got to be sitting here going, "This is so friggin' cool," and I'm racing against Denny Falcon for 26th place, and Denny Falcon is a champion, and he's won the one of the best super speedway drivers I've ever seen. When that team was ECR was big, it was, but he's led by the 9. This is great racecraft and great racing. It takes skills to pass. It takes skills to be passed and to race and to get in a role here. The veteran dog champion,
Meanwhile,
Daytona
Jeff Hale.
500 winner goes by him in the 108 car.
Jeff Hale takes the lead there going into turn 1 with
Great
Mark
job,
Cosenza
Chris.
pushing
Hang
him.
in there, man.
Yeah, Doris Gately asking if Slim was still in the race. Yeah, we had him up on the screen there for a bit. He's still rolling. I think he's still got a good enough car. Might not be a race-winning car, but it should be able to hang for the rest of the night.
Yeah, let's take a look at Slim Jim Gately. Let's find him.
I had him up for a bit.
Okay. Looking back at the front, this is a hornet's nest here. So Janry used the pit sequence. These guys probably took 2 tires here. Something to get track position. Him in the 29 definitely made hay on the rest of these guys here.
Bad news for Slim Jim. I see roof damage, and that means one of those cars came down on top of him, bent the roof, and that's usually not a good sign. And you can see he is struggling to keep up with this cars in front of him.
Well, you know,
Currently topping out 172.
Rocks. That's the only soap I'm going to use on my dirty tile work clothes, and Tide is in the lead here. Jeff Hale in the Tide car. You know, I mean, we've seen when this guy is on, he can't be beat. And Slim Jim Gately will tell you that, and it's incredible. Is he on tonight? He sure looks like it. Going back to, these guys are going at it here. '59 car down low. That Dave Ellens paint is sick. I love that 57 Chevy front end defying the Aero 88, which, what the heck, man, you can do that.
And you see Ryan Johnson running the apron there, just trying to turn whatever laps he can before that blows up. And it's not about, oh, 51 blows up in the, oh no.
He just blew chunks right there, and that thing is done. Come on, son, get out of that thing. That thing's on fire right now.
51 on fire.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
just smoking down the back straight as everybody comes by. That's got to bring out the caution.
It should, you'd think. That motor has definitely expired.
It's still green. You kidding me? That thing's blowing chunks. Leaving oil. He goes down to the apron. Oh my gosh, in front of everybody. You know, these are fixed setups like you've seen the real guys do in iRacing, but they're not lame setups. These are cutting edge at the limit almost.
Man, there's also a random element. Sometimes that just happens.
And then there's, well, that's racing.
Yep.
And no caution. Are you kidding me? And he is done. The 51 qualifies on pole, and that's how his race ends. That's racing. Oh my gosh. Back to the front. Like Metallica said, back to the front.
Back when they were good.
Oh, ouch. Jim's referring to Ford versus Ferrari there. Am I on fire? I actually broadcasted that on Discord for all my friends to teammates to see. That was quite really cool. You can actually broadcast your computer screen on the. I go, we gotta watch Ford versus Ferrari.
Nice. Oh, we do have caution on the speedway finally.
And we have a caution finally. But was
I shouldn't say finally. I don't think it's due to the engine.
Yeah, absolutely. Not bad.
Oh, it looks like it is. Okay, this is from contact, not from the engine expiring.
Matt Watkins up there.
Here, we got it. It's
Weaving
Keith.
his way through. You better watch that Pac-Man. He's eating them one at a time. And now it's pit stop. I don't care if it's okay. Call it here. Sorry.
Yeah, Keith Cordier and the 99 Pops Margison, they just have a little disagreement over ownership of the real estate there.
That was so close. Just inches. Keith was keeping him down there, expecting him to stay low, and he did stay low. Trying to side draft there, but that's racing, isn't it?
Yeah, I gotta say he came down more than Pops came up, and the end result is Keith is driver's side door into the wall.
You know a guy's down there at that part of the corner, you have to give him more room, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. But we don't make, obviously, we're just broadcasting.
Yeah, exactly. That's a non-binding, a non-binding assessment there.
But we have to say what we think we saw. So
absolutely.
If we're wrong, we apologize. Jim Ray, no crews, no chiefs, one driver, one car, go. And that's it. That is it. You have to, and that was always my weakness. That and pit stops was on the track, was I could mix it up, but you gotta have the whole program and picture here. Which this is a good time for me to step away for a minute. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
Ka-ding! Oops, I forgot to turn the replay live label off. So we are not quite halfway here. We probably get there a couple laps after the green flag gets back in the air. Currently leader is Jeff Hale in the 29. Will Farmer scored second. Looks like that needs to cycle through for the pit stops, though.
Yep.
So you've been kind of quiet out there, Dan, which is probably a good thing. It means you're staying out of trouble. How's the night going for you?
Not really pushing it. I like staying at the end of the pack because you can watch what the pack's doing.
Absolutely. Keep those tires under you. Keep the right side on the car, most importantly. And be there for the second half and the end of the race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if there's 5-10 cars racing for the finish. It'll be interesting who gets it there.
Yeah, well, don't do what I did on Tuesday night and expect someone to take an actual good racing line while following you. You'll just get shuffled straight to the back. When it gets down to the end, you gotta hug the bottom.
Yeah, I fell for that once too. Or I could probably say a few times.
Actually, I don't know. This BR track might work. He might not.
The high line works better than the low line when you got more cars up top.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I didn't even try to stay up there. I just tried to arc my way in there, and I ended up boxed out and fell back to 10th. But
Still a good run for you.
Yeah, it was still a good run.
Top 10.
Kept the right side on it. That's what matters.
Even last night, you didn't keep the right side or the left side.
I had no sides kept on that truck, and that was not necessarily of my own doing.
What a lot of fun though to get a top 10.
Yeah, I held on to it with a sick motor and a banged to death truck, but attrition got me a top 10. And sometimes that's what it takes. Hey, Jim Ray in chat there. Jim Ray puts up our founder of FSB Racing, by the way, if you don't know who Jim Ray is. Fun fact, this particular series has been running so long, with the first ever series title was won by Shawn Sheaves, aka Octane, running that 70s show Hippie-Colored Rainbow Oldsmobile, I believe.
Yeah.
Look who's up front.
I was there.
Jeff Hale, Jeff Havoc. The two
Jeff and Jeff show up front.
Mark DeSenza holding the third. Will Farmer up in fourth.
Well, that tells me that Jeff Havoc is probably on some older tires, maybe just right sides on that stop.
Yeah, I would think so, yep.
That can be tricky. I did that once here, and when I stood on the throttle off turn 3, the car just turned left and would not stop going. And I ended up wrecking half the field. So you gotta...
Shawn Hurst won the next one. He was a great sim racer back in the day.
Man, that's a lot of Shawn's spelled the right way. And
yeah, he was, like in multiple leagues. He was well known, and he came to our league to kick some butt, and he did.
Well, we got the lights off on the FSB pace car, and we're ready to take another shot at it here with just under halfway.
Well, our co-anchor there coming in on the cautions, the 007. He's running P9. Now, let's see. This stuff's going to ramp up right now. So,
pace car off.
He's got the 15 behind him. That guy's pretty good. I'm just saying, so...
Yeah, I've heard good things. In fact, let's ride with Matkins on this restart as the green flag is back in the air, and Matt Watkins takes the restart from... where's he scored? Is he about 9th here? Matt Watkins currently scored 8th.
I'm going to watch through cockpit, so I'm going to yell a little bit because the engine noise is so loud. But this is live. This is my view right here. Coming into turn 3 right here. Working the outside. This is the view that you see. You want to drift out to that outside line, but you can also do multiple apexes. Right now, tires are still cold. but you want to try to make moves. You can make that outside draft coming down the front straight in the turn one.
Looks like the 20 of Danny Falcon had to serve a penalty coming out of pits now.
You see, this is a really good setup, so it turns really well on the outside. And you see him power around the outside. And he gets Dave Ellens in that 57 Chevy. Still in car. He's 27, got a little bit loose right there. He's getting a run here. Here comes Matt Watkins. Where's he going to go? He's got the 101 down low. He knows he can't do nothing now. Doesn't want to lose this pack, but patience. Long way to go. Just on the halfway point. Now Dave Ellens is starting to get that draft. You see Dave on that lower line in his mirror. He goes backwards. Later, if you get a long, long run, I like that inside later. But right now, this outside in. Still using that second lane right there. There's a lot of grip and momentum coming off. Always was the hardest thing for me as a bottom feeder to learn that, just because, you know, I didn't know as much as I thought I did, you know. Really, when you watch real drivers and the real physics, over time, these setups have gotten better where they replicate more closely to what you see on TV. Still down the back straight, following the Miller car. You got to get that draft and work. See him go a little bit low to get the air on the nose. Yeah, I know it's just a game, but it's not a game. It's a sim, and that matters. Just like in iRacing, same thing. The physics are very close. It's still the same engine. And now he goes outside to get the air on the nose. Taking a little bit different line every time as we go back to the field there. Just a little in-cockpit show there. And now I'll stop yelling because that sound was like really loud. I love that. I always turn that stuff up too loud when I'm racing, and my teammates are like, well, we got to turn that stuff down.
We got some more trivia coming up in there.
Oh, no kidding.
Milt has 5 career Winston Cup Series event wins. Darlington, Watkins Glen, California, Pocono, and Riverside. Big surprise that there's 2 road courses thrown in there.
Yeah, you know, I love Riverside, man. I grew up there with my dad, and the fact that this sim has that race, and
I'll tell you, John.
See it at some point here in the season.
Yeah, John Norton is working on an updated Riverside.
Ago. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, John Norton's working on an updated Riverside, and once he releases the cup layout of it, I want to see about getting us over there. I think you're going to like it. He's already released the Can-Am version, and I think the club circuit.
Well, Can-Am is definitely it gets my attention. You know, being my dad ran Can-Am in its heyday.
I think I showed you the picture of it when it was in progress. This man, Descenza barely slides up in front of TG Reese there in the 53, where the dude was testing it and he was driving a Milt Minter car. Milt Minter Sr.
Yep. That would have to have been the Vasek Polak number 0 Porsche 917. That's for sure. Or he did run Can-Am with a Ferraro zipper in a Alfa Romeo, but it was way underpowered. Basically giving up, like, it had like 600 horsepower, and the Porsche 917s had turbos had 1,200 or 1,500 if they had to use it. But they may not make it.
They can see that gamble for track position with Jeff Habik in the 101.
You can't see the race. Not sure.
I'm seeing that we're still on.
Still seeing it live on the broadcast there.
Yeah, my
Maybe restart YouTube or.
yeah, I've got my phone on hanging up above me on a mount, and I can watch it there. My OBS monitor is not showing any drop frames. Good connection.
So this is getting interesting. Look at these guys. This is when, you know, your sticker will pecker right here. You start to get intense focus, sweating, nervous. This is why we do this.
Oh, caution on the speedway. Yellow flag out. Just past halfway here at 46 laps of 80.
Matt Watkins from rear to P4, and I see smoke. Somebody's blown up here.
I think it might be the 14 of Jim Stravato, maybe.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, we see chunks.
Oh, we're gonna need a medevac.
And that's Jim's. Jim, get out of that thing, man.
Someone get the medevac.
Boys,
This is a bad wreck here.
Foyt's number there, so you don't get out of the car. He's gonna get out of the car and beat on it with a hammer. And
Well, here it is. He got he popped off the wall, got loose, and right into Danny Falcon's path, and severe impact to the left front, and then again to the left side, heading into the wall. The 14 car of Jim Stravato, that is definitely not gonna finish the race. That's terminal. That's where you pull into the pits and say, we can't fix the damage.
He spins on his own oil coming in down pit road there, and he's gone. He doesn't even. The tow truck has taken that thing off. It's Miller time.
Meanwhile, Danny Falcon.
Luck for Jim there, though. Great.
Tough luck for Danny Falcon.
Danny Falcon.
Danny Falcon got back there through some kind of penalty. I think maybe he got a passing under yellow penalty. He had to hit pit road right after one of the restarts.
He's still finding his way back, even though a champion and multiple race winner. Maybe Jim he's bringing up all these stats. You know, maybe we can see what Danny Falcon has done in his career.
Yeah, Jim, why don't you hit the?
I got over 200 some odd wins, but Danny Falcon's got a significant amount of wins, but he's not going to win tonight. Car still looks good. Let's see what happens on pit road. How much that car is going to have to be whooped on here. Oh, we got contact in the pits. The 9 and the 29. The beer can is dented, definitely. Ken Hansen and 29 Jeff Hale had a disagreement in the pits, and fortunately, we're social distancing, and no crew members were hurt. But oh my gosh, Kim! All I see is announcers in pit road. I don't know if she's fast forwarded to where we're at right now. I'm confused.
Yeah, it's strange.
The
video may have paused. Yeah.
Well, I'm watching it live on YouTube, so.
Yeah, I'd say close whatever you're watching it with, Kim, and start it back up, and you should be right back with us.
Yeah.
Or if there's a go live button.
That's what happens to me when I'm in Mexico. Yep, lots.
Okay. Well, I mean, the internet's under tremendous strain right now with everybody, being quarantined and social distancing here. So let's take a look at what happened with the 29 on pit road that got Milty all fired up here.
Yeah, there was a fist fight there. I don't think they meant to, but let's see what happens here on
You
pit
see
road.
the Tide Ride hits its pit stall. Getting service, right side up. Left side goes up. And okay, yeah, Ken Hansen is way off the pace with severe damage, and he's just trying to get into his box, and the 29 didn't see him coming. Yeah, that's nothing that can.
That's always the tough spot and that's where it happened there. That's always the tough spot to try to visualize a guy that qualified ahead of you, yet he's down from you. Your spotter said go, 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 and that's what you get.
Yeah, I've been there, and with these big fields, it's becoming more common too.
Well, that's what we want to see.
That's what we want to see. I mean,
want to
it's,
see action, man. You know, I mean, you hate for it when,
It's not always perfect.
yeah,
Nope.
but
you know what? Now we got a fast car, moved a few spots further back in the field than he was before. So that's gonna be entertaining for us.
Alex Jarvie up front there for a minute, but that thing's beat up like, you know, like it
Yeah,
went
that
through,
car is not up to pace.
Soledad prison there.
Got his 1 point though.
Got his 1 point, and but that car, folks, when you have that kind of damage, as Dan can attribute, that thing's going to be a handful.
Yeah, I recommend turning stability control on when you're that badly beat up, because if the rear end gone, low power, it starts getting loose.
Yeah, Kim,
That's a true
reload
champion.
the stream, and it should be back on, because
Well, I'm going to take a quick step aside here. I'll leave the side-by-side up and
Okay.
leave you in the hands of Milt and Dan.
All right, the boss left. Let's have some fun.
okay, wow, we're already having fun, but he the man.
You're the
He
boss
makes it
now, man.
happen.
You're the boss.
Well, you know, the boss is the drivers. Let's take a look at, we're all on even terms here. 30 to go. You can't make it 30 from here if it stays green. So
We got 31 laps to go with 25 laps in the tank.
you can't make that. You got to figure things are going to ramp up. Track position is huge here, and you want to, you know, short pitting is not an issue until it's time. As we see the 95 warp there,
Oh, really big time.
this
So-
is sticker pecker moment here again.
I think you
bring
wait.
it again.
I think you wait to about the 15 laps. It seems to be the time that somebody wipes out, and then think about pitting.
Absolutely, especially with your track position right now, you're looking really good, bud. And we know what you can do, but you can't just make your way to the front here. You got a couple guys taking some chances here. Christopherson, he's down a lap, so we got lap cars down low, and we got Will Farmer blinking, but in the lead with Matt Watkins. That's a guy I would follow. And you're right there. You got Mark DeCisa in front of you. You got a great shot at a podium here.
And back just in time to see Will Farmer lead us back to green flag there on the outside with Matt Watkins right up his
all
tailpipe.
over him. Because I'm a Pac-Man. Look, I mean, these are the moments this guy lives for. Very, you know, just a mellow dude. As soon as you put him on the track, he's a force of nature, and he makes no bones about it. You know, he doesn't talk much about himself, except, you know,
When we drag it out of him.
yeah, but you have to drag it out of him. But you race against this guy, that is, you see that 15 behind you, you're like, oh, man. It's that guy, you know. Mark DeCisa, he's back on the saddle after a heart attack. He is 100%. No more talking about that, except to just be glad that he's here and feeling great. And it's been pretty much dictated how he's felt through his comeback at FSB. Dan Jones, we know he's good at everything, and he's had some bad luck, but he has run well and been top 5 almost every week. This could be the week that he, you know, breaks that and shows you what he can do. He's been on every week, real quiet. You don't hear much, you know. He's just like, okay, we're going to pit. This is what I think I'm going to do. But he's just another one of those guys that between in that car right now, he is fierce. T.G. Reese. Look, the 53 is running one of the best races he's run in a long time. And he has that ability. We see some smoke on the track.
Smoke on the track, but no caution as of yet.
T.G. Reese has yet to show what he's shown back in the day in CC racing, to be honest, as far as victories.
He's had some bad luck.
He's had some bad luck. But he is definitely, I kind of look at him like a Harry Gant kind of guy, and that's kind of his paint scheme normally. We're not seeing it tonight, but he's a mild-mannered guy that really has skill on these speedways. With these fields and stuff, there's going to be opportunity for guys. Wow, look at that racing. That is not easy. Still smoke down. Somebody's barbecuing down there low.
I wonder if Ryan Johnson finally blew up.
Dan Irvine right there. The two of Ed Fowler has been there all night. Mr. Bojangles dance. That 57 Chevy of Dave Ellens. He has come back, and he has come back with a vengeance. The 90 car of Matt Stewart is showing me so much here. This guy has definitely got what it takes.
Yeah, running that bullseye barbecue sauce paint scheme, the classic Benny Parsons
stuff,
look.
Man. In fact, I had that this week at the motel. My coworker made chicken with this seasoning and mayonnaise, and then he hit it with bullseye after on my little barbecue. Unfortunately, the gardener the next day threw my barbecues in the trash. We had to dig them out of the trash at the motel. Crazy. But anyway, enough about me. Joe Weaver still, just what can I say? I mean, solid professional right in the mix. And there goes that guy, the 52, doing what Matt Watkins was doing. But you got 4 wide. Got 3 wide, double 3 wide. Spotter's going 3 wide. Pisciner down there trying to follow 52. 3 wide. Now back to 2. You got to keep your lane. This is the 405 freeway at 195 miles an hour. Let's see what their lap time is, actually. These are the 700 plus cars. Still 191. Not like the Cup cars that will go over 200.
Yeah, you get about 218, 220 out of a Cup car going into turn 1 here in California. Probably the fastest straightaways.
Still extremely fast. Pops Margison hanging in there, battling. Pops is just such an experienced, great racer. He lives for this. He's been through 2 eye surgeries. He couldn't even see. He was driving with one eye, and I'm like, "You're gonna race with one eye?" Well, yeah, Mel. You know.
Well, how many do you need?
You got a problem with that?
And by the way, we are inside our window to make it to the finish.
His son Toby, long-time FSB driver too. And they watch these broadcasts, and his grandkids. You get these these relationships. It's pretty cool. What a great guy. I'd do anything for Pops. If we live like 2,000 miles away. But Steve Weber, the big cactus, hanging right in that mix, doing what he does. He is the most clean. He was a champion, and he didn't even win a race that season. Why? Because he finished and got more points than everybody else. Why? Because he is a smart Clean racer.
Ooh, Dave Allen's got wiggly there, but hold on to it. Everybody keeps on going.
Christopherson showing. I mean, these guys right now. I mean,
Yeah, Christopherson's heavily damaged from that big wreck earlier.
but their adrenaline, their feeling right now of what they're accomplishing while they're racing, it doesn't really hit you till after you get done with the race. John the Dog Palmer really trying to push that, and he's in P17. You know, his expectations are not going to be Castro, you know, super. But he wants to get a top 15 or maybe even the top 10. You know.
Oh, meanwhile, it's the Dan and Dan show. Right behind these two leaders, Dan Irvine and Dan Jones, looking for a way around Mark DeSenza.
3-8 battle with Chad Markin, Bob Williams, and Dan Francisconi with damage and all the disabilities he has to deal with. He is fighting to make this race. You just can't even imagine.
Yeah, he's hanging on there.
What he has to go through to do this.
He's still got that 16. Oh, we got a wreck going into 3 here.
Oh,
Car
man,
backwards in the wall. I think that was T.G. Reese.
Oh, no.
And Pop's still coming down the track, catches
Hammings getting back on the track. We'll have to see there. Okay. Now you got a box here. You got a pit. Got to get 4.
And this will take you in your fuel window to the finish, I believe.
Yeah, 1 can of tank.
Yeah.
You take 4, you take 2.
I want 4 freshies right now.
Are you kidding me? With 20 to go? That's what it's telling you, dude?
I want 4 tires no matter what.
Give me the info here. I know everybody else is listening, but you just said it, so you're saying 1 can.
All right, here we go.
15 laps.
Here in the not quite. This isn't a 1.5. This is a 2-mile track. But here we go. Here's our caution. 53 TG Reese right in front of Jeff Hale, and well, it looks like he got a little help there. Went around. Not sure what happened to Pops though. Oh, Ed Fowler ended up caught in that.
Oh my gosh. Ding! Well, he just spit.
Oh, I see. Ed Fowler was trying to miss that.
Right out of the side of the car there. He can't be happy with that. Ouch. Mr. Bojangles.
So Ed Fowler trying to miss it, and then Pops gets hit from below by 108.
Jeff Hale dodged a bullet there, even though he got hit. Yeah. Wow. Oh, and Dog got it. Okay, so.
So there was a whole chain reaction there.
Yeah, Dog thought he was clear. He was slowing down, but he thought he was clear. He didn't see the 99 there, so. Got to slow down, but he was slowing down, just not fast enough. Wow. Action, baby. Wow, we need like 3 or 4 other people to be watching this to catch it all, but I think we're catching most of it.
Yeah, we need spotters just like NBC and Fox have. Oh no, Mark DeSenza, you see him coming out of the pits and letting cars by. That can only mean one thing.
Yep, he's posting it.
EOLL.
Line.
You don't know how those 1, 2, 3, 4 letters really, really upset me when I get them.
Yeah, that is a 4-letter word to us in sim racing.
You cannot stress the concentration level you have to have throughout, including once you're battling on the track, then you have to execute your pits. NASCAR will not deviate. You're speeding, you're busted. You don't make the commitment line, you're busted.
Yeah, no ball strike call here. It's all computer. And Computer said he was speeding.
By the time you hear the sirens, it's always already too late. Yes, Jim. Definitely. We know that. We know losing the Indy 500 at FSB. We both won it. But that year that we were teamed up and Francis Dittman kicked our asses, we will never, those are the things. I bring up stuff that's bad for other people, but I'll bring it up for me too. That was never more frustrating that all we had to do was make a good pit stop at the Indy 500, and one of the two of us were going to win. We would have sorted it out later, but we never got the chance because the bottom line was Francis Dittman made a good pit stop at the end, and we chunked it, and you never, after 500 miles, 3.5 hours in the car, you gotta pee, you're thirsty, your back hurts, your butt hurts, you're sitting in that, nothing like the real guys have to deal with, but it's still, it's a concentration level, and you just throw that thing away. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of back hurts, anybody got an aspirin after that hit I just took?
Mr. Bojangles crash.
Ed Fowler, fresh out of the infield care center, joins us here in the FSB Racing Live booth.
You okay, bud?
My pride's hurt. Had a good run going, but
You had a very good run going.
we were just biding our time, easing up around a little bit, just biding some time and trying to race some lines, but it wasn't meant to be.
We'll show here what happened to Ed.
From the track there, what can you do to pass? Well, how have we seen Matt Watkins go from last place to first? He's obviously figured out the pass. What's the secret here? You can obviously pass.
Having the right air and having a little bit of help. Taking the right angle in and making sure you got a little bit of help, and that absolutely works. That outside line works really, really well. And Shawn, if you're looking for mine, it's not the first hit, it's the second.
Oh, I got it up right now.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
Oh. Good thing it's not real.
Oh.
Yeah, I barely scraped the wall and got no damage on the first hit.
There's Dan in the side. Okay, I'm seeing it delayed. Oh my gosh. That killed you.
Yep, sure did. It is what it is. But anyway, but the outside line will really work well as long as you have help. If you don't have help on the bottom, you're not going to be able to really get by anybody. But there's a lot of passing going on out there, a lot of movement left and right, and I bet you with these last few laps,
they're going to be insane.
They
13 to go.
We were insane from the get-go up front. So,
well, thanks to hear from you, and thanks for your sportsmanship, which is, as usual. I know you're disappointed, but get them next week.
I mean, it's a Friday night at FSB. A top 10's a win in some cases,
Absolutely. Here we go, Green. You want to hang out, dude? Or,
yeah, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out.
All right, hang out. Dan Jones, P2, from the broadcast.
Oh, looks like we got some cars turned around right away on the start here.
Cautions breed cautions.
Almost looks like someone may
on
have...
the back straight. Dan Jones going for the lead. No, he thinks better of it. Do we have caution out? I'm not seeing it yet.
Yeah, it's out.
Caution is out. Yellow lights are on. Back it up, boys. Back it up. Dan Irvine, patient all night, doing what Dan do, and he's up in P3 there. Now what you do? Well, you can't pit now. I mean, you need that track position. Only a few laps. If you're in the back or...
All right. So, looks like on the restart here, the two brown cars are together of Bob Williams and 89 of Alex Jarvie. And looks like Bob Williams maybe started in first gear, got loose. And then a chain reaction behind him sends the 76 car to the infield.
Oh, yeah.
25's in the infield.
Double bam.
57-23 Slim Jim got turned around somehow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Most of the time, you're supposed to start in second gear with these setups.
Yeah, Pac-Man started in first gear. He almost spun out.
But that's
Yeah.
what he does. He almost spins out, but he doesn't spin out
Yeah, he
because he
blocked.
pushes it. You know what? The 15 car, he likes to have a scare the hell out of you
Hanging
moment
out
to
moment.
wake him up. He is nothing but fire, dude. I mean, to race against that guy, I've lost a lot against that guy.
Well, we're going to take this last restart, or not this last restart, this next
And he
restart
is-
inside
he
10 to
likes
go.
That. He likes scaring the crap out of himself. It
And everybody
motivates him.
behind him. Yeah.
But that's how he rolls. I seen him, I seen him at Le Mans. I seen him at the Indy 500 hang a Indy car sideways. I've never seen anybody in my sim racing career that could hang a car sideways like the 15. He doesn't even know what he could do like in a road racing car. I mean, if you put the time in like he does with these cars, his talent level is I've seen it. I'd bet my oath on it. He could drive anything in any kind of sim with the right gear and the right time to practice it. I guarantee you that guy is a badass. No, everybody in this field is a badass, but that guy is from the rear to the front. Well, we'll see. I've also seen him throw it away because he has no fear. He's a bulldog. He's going to grab that wheel and drive. And he's got this guy behind him in the 007. He's pretty good.
So's Dan Irvine, so's Jeff Hale, so's Will Farmer.
Yeah, that was going to slot up to be, and it's still going to be one heck of a race to the end right there.
So it's going to be less than 10 laps to go.
It's going to get crazy.
And it's going to get crazy. Matt Watkins has got the air on the nose from the rear to the front. What else can you say? I like his chances here. But he could, got to put the pressure on him. You got to get a good restart. You got to make it an issue. He gets out in front, gets 3-4 car lengths on you. This thing's over. You got to put the pressure. You got to nail that restart, but you can't kill yourself either. Okay, so you think he started in the first gear last time. So he's thinking to himself, should I do that again? I almost lost it, but I kept the lead. Maybe I'll start in first gear and just blip it a little and go right to second, or I can mash it in second. Now, you guys have restarted in second gear as a driver. Can you mash it without getting that high RPM
Yes.
wheel spin?
In second, yes.
Yeah. When
In
get
first,
to
you got to give it the old egg
'cause
treatment.
You get about 7,500. Sometimes it'll, like if you just put it to the floor, it'll all of a sudden go raw, and you're done. So.
Yeah, Dover's notorious for that.
So if I was Dan Jones right now, I would take that. I would not take that chance of first gear right now. But you have to track him. It's not quite like iRacing where you've seen like Denny Hamlin. You don't really have a restart line like you do here. If you start too early, you could get busted. If not now, later when the admin reviews, this race, because these races are reviewed. A lot of people, a lot of time, that would be Ryan Johnson. He will review this race from start to finish.
Lights are off on the FSB pace car.
Now the lights are off. Your adrenaline is pumping. It's just a sim, but it sure as heck ain't just a game. I'm telling you.
Well, that first wreck that Will and I missed, where every car was sliding and we dove through it, we were both hooting and hollering in the.
Absolutely.
All excited up. How did we miss that?
These guys put a lot of work in. They spent a lot of money on these rigs, and they spent a lot of time, years. Look, I mean, you're watching this. No disrespect to the real NASCAR guys, but and I enjoyed their progression as every race on TV ran. Like Brad Keselowski got better and better. Brad used to run NASCAR 2003 back in the day, along with Denny Hamlin. They don't talk about it, but that was the game before iRacing.
And Dale Jr. still talks about it.
And Dale Jr. I mean,
Truex.
They were part of Junior's Dirty Mo posse on Tuesday Night Truck.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And guys like you've been around forever.
Race with them some over there.
And race with them, you know. So I mean, this is professional sim racing. They need to bunch up here. Dan Irvine, you know, got to get it up there.
Jeff gave him a little nudge.
Jeff, yeah, absolutely. Come on. Jeff is on it tonight. It's Will Farmer, the young fella, P5 here. He needs some action as we go green. The 007 gets a great run. I think the 15
He's looking down low.
He's going to defend, but he can't. There's a little
wow.
right there. He puts a rub on him.
I don't know how they didn't wreck.
I thought for sure they were going to.
Nudge right there. Come on, Dan.
Oh, but Irvine is crashing.
There's contact behind.
Will Farmer's around.
This ain't over here. Back to the start-finish line. Dan needs to finish this.
Well, we're going to get another shot at the restart.
Yellow, and it is yellow. They're racing back to the line. It's Dan.
Looks like it's going to be Matt Watkins leads him back.
They will have a restart. 4 to go, they won't. 6 to go, they will. Easy, guys. Who's that guy in the 52 that come up?
Where did he come from?
Rick Johnson. He's been lurking about 10th or so each night.
Caution's out. Be careful, guys.
Why are they still at full speed?
Why are they still racing? This caution is out.
They may not have taken it yet.
Okay. Oh, no!
Yeah, they had to because the wreck was on the backstretch.
And contact on the 15 against the wall.
Wow.
007 might have thought that was the race, and it could be the race now. Because they did not, definitely Ed nailed it. They did not take the green. So they had to race back. Cars everywhere.
Oh, Jim Ray's saying the caution came late. Okay. Well, he got a lot to sort through.
Enough for a green-white check, or not a green-white checker, but one to go. I think. What does timing and scoring say? Jim saying it might have been for an additional wreck that we didn't see. Here comes the pace car.
So the wreck starts here with 27.
It's still showing
29.
Dan Jones in P2. Let's see if this recycles.
Oh, Jim's right. What the heck?
Okay, let me hold on a minute. Bad Clan. Okay, he's gone.
TeamSpeak user.
Oh,
lovely.
I love that. I love banning people, man. So he's gone.
At least it was a
Because
good
we
song.
are an open channel, but gosh, I love that power. I had to earn that, you know. But okay,
so let's see where the caution actually came out.
Great music, buddy. You're gone forever. You will never be able to connect to this again. Isn't that funny? Woo! Nailed it. This thing's going to go green again. I really feel, Jim, what do you think? I think it's going to...
Here's one thing I do know. Jeff Hale's got damage to the right side. I would say the 15's got damage from the right side. I know it's a different Michigan track, but on Tuesday night when the chicken run, if you got damage to that outside at all, it really tightened the car up and you couldn't run that outside line as well as you could. So that might be something to look at for.
Yeah, I'm looking for where the caution actually came out.
Well, if this goes green, 007 showed you that he's not afraid to put a bumper on him, and he did it the right way. But the 15 is not afraid to drive it in there, so these guys are definitely not afraid. If you're going to bump somebody, that's how you do them. You get them loose, and you don't wreck them. And who's that guy in P3? That's the other goat there. The drummer, Rick Johnson, one of the greatest that's ever. I mean, what do you say? I mean, can you compare them to other drivers? You can contrast and compare, but these guys have come from the rear with the Slim Challenge, a championship challenge, and here they are. Yeah, man, you got those guys. That guy's always in that same paint. He's been that and the PPG paint back in the day. When you see that Rick Johnson in that 52 with either one of those paints behind you, it can't help but affect you. And you know that this guy's gonna. You have to run your race, but at the same time, you know that this guy is going to be calm and outthink you. He was my teammate, and he outthought me every time I tried to make a decision. It was like, no, Milt, pit, 4 tires. Don't, whenever I would talk, it would be like, just drive the car, man, I got you, 4 tires here,
Milt, you said he was a GOAT too. We've got a lot of great people in this league.
Oh, absolutely.
You're considered to be a GOAT too. So, from one GOAT to another.
Well, yeah, he's definitely the GOAT as far as road courses go.
Well, I mean, we're talking about wins on the ledger in this league. But, now the talent level is so incredibly higher.
Oh no, Dan just blew up.
Dan Jones blows up under caution.
Wow.
Unreal.
There's so much drama out here tonight with cars blowing up. Crazy stuff happening. Wow.
The 007 Q branch just blew chunks right there, and
they built
bring the car back in one piece, Mr. Bond.
Well, it made it 77 laps.
Oh my god.
Needed to go 80.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Oh well,
I had
something
on him too, man.
No,
we
Mr.
saw
Bond, I expect you to die.
Apparently. You hit the wrong button there. You hit the smoke screen and filled up the cockpit.
Oh no, that was definitely, if like a bunch of guys with guns were chasing you, that would work. But just horrible. I mean, that's racing. I mean, this has been the best chance for Dan to win a race, and now he's in the broadcast booth.
Well, he is a Friday night winner, fortunately. So I think if there's a silver lining, it's that he wasn't going for his first one.
I'd be, if I had a stuffed animal right now, I'd be punching it.
That's the kind of thing that was happening to me when I was trying to win my first one.
Oh my
Even if it was just one more lap under caution, I would have finished, right?
Oh yeah. B2.
So that number 90 car, Matt Stewart's a newcomer, and he's been strong tonight too. So we'll see what happens.
And he's kept it clean
on the pace car. We will have green flag racing.
Look at the 12 of Joe Weaver bouncing back.
Let's see what Rick Johnson has.
Yeah, he's got some. What does Jeff Hale have left after scraping the right side?
Rick Johnson has a lot of trophies.
And here we go, green-white checkers.
That you see in the picture. Oh, and he gets contact
We'll stack
with
up.
the 29 in the back.
I think there was some wheel spin there.
Watkins brings it on the restart.
Dave Ellen's looking to the inside.
There's going to be a good draft down that backstretch, so it's not over, I don't think.
Well, I say the co-goats, but like Ed said, better get in line because there's a lot of them. Jim Ray's guy, the 52, he was our teammate at FSB Racing Team. Here comes that 52 down low. He's
Push
pushing
up.
it. 79 of 80. There'll be one more at the line here. What do you say? I don't even know
Hale
what to
can
root
pretty much
for.
decide who
They're
wins
side by
this.
side. The Co-Goats dead nuts at the line.
There's a 90.
The 90 to the outside.
The 52 takes the lead.
White flag in the air.
Up the outside
Oh, he
line.
comes back.
I don't know if it's going to hold.
He's got the
Who's gonna
momentum.
get the draft? Oh, Rick gets loose.
Look who's
And
coming
the
up in
15
second, the
powers
90
out.
car. Taking a look.
Will the 15 come down? No, he's not sure. Yes, he does.
Well, 3 wide
Matt
behind him.
Watkins
Hale's
is
around.
Back, man. Are you kidding me?
The 90 gets
Dominates
the
the
third.
last lap. It's Matt Watkins at the line. Caution is out. It's Matt
Checkers
Watkins
are
with the
out.
win.
Matt Watkins, Rick Johnson, and newcomer Matt Stewart.
How about the 90 and P3? He's going to get on TV tonight.
Welcome to FSB, Matt Stewart. Podium finish on your Friday night debut.
How about that? The 52 did exactly what he had to do. The 15 do what he do, and that is not panic. Keep his foot in it on the outside. Coming out of turn 2 there, the 52 with that lower line
That's
got loose, and the 15 just a split second there, and the 15 had the draft on the outside.
It is so hard on that bottom side if you don't have some really help right on you, and that was a thing. He was trying to push it a little too hard. It happened to me a couple
Here we
times.
go.
too.
Here we go. Let's burn them off.
All right, guys, I'm out. You guys have a great night. Great call, and appreciate it. Sorry for your luck there, Dan. We had a couple.
Here we go. Here we go.
races
Smoke them.
Yeah,
Smoke
we'll
them
see
if you
later.
got them. South Carolina native. Used to live right down the street from Darlington, but doesn't anymore. But definitely used to drive by the track going to work. Seeing NASCAR go back and getting the win here and burning them off like nobody's business. You cannot understate how good this guy is and what he can do in any league at any time, anywhere.
How's that for a smoke screen?
And the burnout is epic. And let's get some more at the start-finish line. And he deserves that. The 52 did what Jim knew he would do, and what I knew he would do was come out at the end and get there at the end. And he passed him. What more can you ask for? Fantastic.
Well, there's your finish. Matt Watkins is your winner. Rick Johnson second with a "Where Did He Come From" run. Matt Stewart, what a debut!
Way to
What's
go,
the 90
Matt.
bullseye
I can't
machine?
wait to talk to this guy because he ain't no rookie, you know.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'd like to hear his story because he's definitely been racing in some of these other badass in 2003 leagues.
Yeah, I'd
also,
say so.
I'm going to take a quick pit stop and then we'll get these guys up here.
Yeah, then Milty's going to go gather up our podium finishers for us.
Woo!
So I'll run through the finishing order as I can here. Rick Johnson, second, Matt Stewart, third, Dave Ellens, fourth, Joe Weaver brings the 12 car home in fifth. John the Dog Palmer, how about another "Where Did He Come From"? He puts the 108 car in sixth. That's a great run there for Dog, just persevering, staying out of as much trouble as he could, even picked up a lap lead. Let's see, can I pick up I don't have the screen cap there. Moving on. His teammate Rick Biscano right behind him in the 109. Ken Shea in the 91. Steve Weber and then Dino Francisconi. A solid top 10 run there for the 8 car. And your hard luck guys for the night, though. Slim Jim Gately Mark DeSenza, Jeff Hale, Jordan McGregor, all your big gun championship contenders there. Had a rough night. Finished at the tail end of lead lap, 20th through 24th, with Dan Jones blowing that engine late. Engine valve, it's listed as officially in the final standings. And we got Milty coming back with a fresh beer. All right, Milty. Well, you don't have your headset on yet.
Okay, here we go.
Gonna count on you to go get my get our top three finishers here.
Matt in the lobby. Let me find him here. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, hold on a minute. I'll be back.
All right. Meanwhile, I have to rebuild this scene too for not having a green screen. Alright, so I think Ryan Johnson probably has our points updated. He's always on the ball like that. And yeah, you see Matt Watkins jumps up 2 spots to your points lead. Rough night for the 3-car. Pretty faulty. He fell back 2 spots to third there. Rick Johnson jumps 6 spots to pick up second place. I'm just gonna adjust the camera here. Man, Dave Ellens picks up 22 spots with that run tonight. Don't know where he finished at Homestead, but obviously a bit lower. Milty's taking his time getting everybody gathered up here.
We're shy.
We're shy, alright. I'm just adjusting some stuff here.
Okay, we got the podium finishers here.
All right, Milty, take it away.
Well, let's start with Matt Stewart, P3. Honestly, so what's your story, Matt? How long you been sim racing?
Well, first of all, congratulations! A Friday night debut on the podium in the booth. That's a way to start it.
Definitely got skills for sure.
My heart was pounding like no other. Oh man, so that was great. But no, I picked up a wheel only a couple months ago. You know, I've been sim racing, you know, console and with the keyboard for 15 years, but this whole COVID situation gave me the motivation to get more seriously into it. So
wow.
So I've been racing with the wheel for a couple months, and man, blast.
Well, talent is talent, and what I saw tonight, all the stuff you had to go through against these professional sim racers, they've been racing for a long time. I mean, you showed me so much car craft, awareness, car control. To get a third place in this league is unbelievable, especially with that story. I mean, I expected that you had like 15, 16 years of experience.
Yeah, so I was thinking those here too.
I mean, there's no way. Wow. So.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So looking forward to continuing racing with everyone.
Awesome. Off to a great start there. I think Benny Parsons would be proud to see his car get a good run like that. And congratulations and welcome to FSB. Thanks for joining us here in the booth.
Thanks so much.
I mean,
and
you talk about what you see, and what I saw was a fantastic race with craft, pit stops, multiple things you had to deal with against these guys that are the best that I've ever raced against. And to get a podium, I mean, that's just sick, man. So awesome.
And
job,
meanwhile,
man.
our second place finished there. The co-goat, as Milt keeps calling him, and kind of a where did he come from? Because he wasn't really up front most of the race. Rick Johnson. Man, what did you just need? One more lap, two more, a little help.
No, I needed one less lap. Is what I needed.
One less lap. Yeah, that's right. Because Matt fought back on the outside.
Yeah. Just to say what you guys been saying. Congrats, Matt, Stewart. There, I was definitely not afraid to race side by side with you the whole time. There, it's a great job. But as far as the race, I think I'm going to sign up for Slim's. Oh, somebody's mic's on there. I think I'm going to sign up for Slim's.
That's me.
I'm going to sign up for Slim's school, how to pass Matt Watkins. He's going to give me some training. So.
Man, if Slim could figure that out, I don't think he'd share it.
Well, I mean, you did pass him, but then you came out, I think it was turn 2, and you got loose, and he had that outside momentum, and you both had draft partners, but it just was, you could see that little bobble where you just kind of got a little bit loose, and that's all it took because he was rolling. I mean, we know what he do, and he's going to keep his foot in it, and he was really working that outside line. I think if you could have passed him and got in front of him.
Yeah, if I could have passed him in front of him, I would have went that outside line.
Then you went on the outside line, yeah, absolutely.
The outside line was definitely faster.
So would you rather have run this one or the original Michigan?
The original, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick's got that track down.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a bottom feeder.
It's more of a bottom feeder. You can kind of get away from the cars a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, great run anyway. Good points tonight for sure. As you move, you jumped to six spots to second place.
I don't know how I did that. I'll have to watch the broadcast, figure out how I did that.
Well, good run anyway.
I was watching it, and I still don't know how. Where did he come from?
Yeah, there were a lot of cars out there. There was a lot to miss, but we certainly had our eye right from the start on starting in the back. Mr. Matt Watkins, and that Pac-Man machine just gobbled up the field. And the 15. Matt, great run. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, first thing, this day, the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man. So
heck yeah.
I'm so happy this car won.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it was
next week I'll paint my car like a ghost.
Good idea.
A blue ghost.
That's good. I like it. Yeah, this was a top feeding track. So I just rolled the top most of the race, and I knew if I could just get track position, get to the lead, it's really hard for somebody to make the pass on the bottom. Yeah, thought I was maybe in trouble. If Rick would clear me, it was over. I knew if I had just a nose, there's no way he was gonna be able to make it because I could just hold it full throttle, go on the outside, and that momentum would just pull him pretty good. So yeah, it's just a ton of grip on the outside. So it took a miracle to pass on the bottom once she got near the front.
Well, we've both seen you guys work that before. Just because you didn't want to qualify because you thought stuff would happen in front. Now you guys are doing it voluntarily, but you're still showing what you're made of and how you work through traffic. You did it a little bit different than Rick did, but every race is different. You took the spots that you could take. You executed on pit road. You didn't panic. You slowly moved up, and then that last sequence of stops under caution there, you came out in front. I mean, you executed. That's still Matt Watkins 101A is the whole deal of not just what you do on the track, but what you do in the pits that matters. And you executed it like Rick did, but you did it a little bit better.
Yeah, pit road was probably more important than the race on the track because I went from 9th or something to third or second one time, and that was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, just once I kept getting them spots on pit road, and then I was able to get the outside of Will, and then once I finally got the lead, I felt pretty good. Then that I could just roll the top and hopefully be okay.
Was some of that because you started in the back to get a good, like Kevin Harvick situation where he likes to start in the back, and then get that first pit stall coming in type thing, or?
Yeah, it's really good coming in. Coming out is kind of scary sometimes if you gotta watch for cars coming in when you're coming out, and that's a little dicey. But yeah, it is a big advantage to come in, not having to check out with all the congestion on pit road going in. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I like to get those Yeah, that was just a bad situation. He pulled out just as Ken Hansen was pulling in. And yeah, he got pinned in there.
And that's one of those things where you're like in mid-pack, and you don't have time to really think about who's behind you, who's in front of you, and you're trying to execute your stop, and then you pull out at the same time he's pulling in. It's the recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Hale, he qualified near the front, but so did Ken Hansen, and Ken had severe damage, and Jeff was just fine. That's why they got tangled up like that.
Oh yeah, an awesome job to Matt number 2 there. That was a hell of a run. He was on it the whole race, and he just kept working his way up there and did a hell of a job.
Yeah, 90 car is going to be somebody guys are going to have to deal with.
Another man to deal with, huh?
He topped my Winston Cup debut. I made my Winston Cup debut finishing 4th at Rockingham. Nice. And he comes along and finishes 3rd here. He topped me on that one. Good job. And we're at Rockingham next week too. Rockingham next week. Yeah.
Legendary NASCAR track.
Yeah, legendary track. Winston Cup Series will be there. I will not be on the air for that one, unfortunately, guys. I got another obligation.
Okay, we'll be
doing something for a friend. So,
I actually have to work Friday too, and I'm out of town. So.
Oh, there we go. That worked out perfectly then.
I might not make it back by race time anyway, so we'll have a week break, and then we'll be back.
Awesome. So thanks for joining me tonight, Milty, as always. And
it's a privilege, man.
Absolutely, great fun. And thanks for joining us here in the post race show. Our top 3 finishers: Matt Stewart in his debut in the number 90.
Matt, that's that Indy 500 trophy that I read.
Oh, he's gonna keep rubbing salt in that wound.
Well, he asked me to show it. He wants me to, repent. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can tell how sorry he is.
He's so sorry, isn't he?
Second place, Rick Johnson. Thanks for joining us, and of course, Matt Watkins, your race winner, your points leader. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks as always, our series admin Ryan Johnson, working double time tonight with the server situation. So many cars that Michigan was crashing, so he had to get us restarted real quick. And getting those points updated. Thanks everybody for joining us out there. It's awesome seeing you guys joining every week, joining in the chat.
Thank you, my daughter,
what we do.
Jessica, for watching. Jim Ray, George, my co-worker, a bunch of people. Usually, I appreciate that. Thanks for the support.
Awesome, and thanks as always our league owner promoter Sam Young for all you do behind the scenes and in the drivers meetings too, this week especially. And I think that's about it for tonight. So thanks for joining us, everybody, for FSB Racing Live.
We're gonna watch I'll
see you in 2 weeks.
Rebroadcast, that's for sure.
All right, good night, everybody.